That's right. Part two, we back. We're gonna try this again. Hope everybody's doing all right. Welcome to the stream. Had to switch microphones up a little bit, still trying to work the kinks out and everything. Let me put the tweet out again. See if we can get some more. See if we can get some of our regulars on to help boost the stream and this live streaming effort I got going out. Man, that last stream was a disaster stream. I went ahead and made it unpublished. I knew I said I was gonna leave it up, but I ran into way too many problems and still kind of am now. I got some weird issues going on here, but hopefully everything is all good and and registering well. But how are y'all doing? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Super Meditech live stream over on Twitch. In the first live stream we did, I had talked about, you know what I mean, the name change and just trying to bring back the live stream vibes here with the brand, with the tech brand here, and have a slightly different format on Twitch. Like being able to, like, if this is the first time or this is the first couple times I'm trying to live stream from the set, from the main set here. And I had some concerns about broadband and internet connectivities because I'm a little bit far from my router. This is why in the past, y'all, I've always done most of my gaming live streams from my primary setup, for my editing station or my content rig, Snow White, if you will, simply because it's routed to the internet with an Ethernet cable. And that's the best solution you want to have when you're streaming games, especially when you're streaming them in high quality. Like I was streaming them at 1080p and even 4K about a year ago. So, but yeah, but hopefully everybody's all right. Hopefully we don't have any complications or errors this time around, but we will we will see. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing okay. Hope the audio's okay. If you're tuning in and you're watching, let me know where you're watching from in the chat. Again, I didn't anticipate a lot of viewers to come over to the stream simply because I haven't streamed in quite a while here on Twitch. But over on that time, while I was streaming on Twitch, I'm sorry, while I wasn't streaming on Twitch, I was streaming over on YouTube. We were running the live experience show. So that's why it's, you know what I'm saying, just a little different. But nonetheless, we out here. I want to turn the test set up here in a second to kind of walk through some of the overclocking, I guess you could say, points from the video that we published over on the YouTube channel, which again, I want to note it is slightly different from the branding here over on the Twitch channel. And that is because I will eventually migrate and, yes, change the brand name over on YouTube as well. Because it's what we do. We're super, we're meta, all the content, you know what I mean, has a certain flair and stylistic approach to it, at least with my edits. And of course, we're all about tech. And I want to be the character that helps you save time and money while doing so, especially live, to answer questions live, to address any pain points you may have, either as a gamer or even as a content creator who also uses a PC and or streams games. If you have questions or want to enhance your audience's, experience watching you play games, you're going to be in the right place. You're going to be in the right live stream to do so. You can always check out the VODs over on YouTube. They're typically more, I guess you can say, story story orientated. I take pride in telling a good story in the content, and even on the live streams. I think story is important. I think it's important. It's an important aspect to creating content. If you're a content creator, you know. If you're a storyteller, you know. Either way, like it's an important part of the content creation process. You want your stories to be able, or you want your videos to be able to tell some kind of story, some kind of story. And that's the same approach I take with our VODs. Now on the live stream, it's all about interaction and community inclusion and community integration, being there for you in the now. They say there's no better time than in the present. And when you're live, that's what it is. On here on Twitch, it's a little different because, yes, you can leave the VODs up. And I haven't decided yet what we'll do with like official clips and replays. We might throw them over on YouTube as well. But That's kind of undetermined at the moment. We just have to wait and see. But nonetheless, though, they will be made available. Maybe not this one. This one I'll probably just leave up here on Twitch just to kind of show that we're back. We're live. The Twitch live streams will improve and get better. That I can assure you. But I did not want those reasons to be preventative ones or ones that hinder us from even returning back to live streaming. Live streaming, and it still is, so bear with me when I say this, but live streaming was one of my favorite content formats to produce. Going live once a week was something I had looked forward to. And fam, we published like well over 50 live shows. And one time we went live for like 6.5 hours. Probably the longest I've done a solo live stream. I've been solo most of all of the live streams, but that was like the longest I've done a solo live stream. A little bit of history there, a little bit of Metatech history, a little bit of super. Or I guess we were inside the lab at that point, but it was a 6 hour live stream. And a lot of our day ones who stay ones was on that particular live stream with us. I believe we were playing Alien Isolation, but nonetheless, when we weren't doing game-based live streams or live shows, where they were more so just like a live show like this here or around a certain topic, the show did have a lot of flair associated with it. The whole season 1 and 2 is still up over on YouTube. I left it as is in case you're feeling nostalgic or you want to revisit some of those and see what the live stream format was or how I performed as a live streamer. I hope I've improved over that time. Excuse me, they say you get better in time so long as you do all the right things and you learn from your mistakes. I've learned from my mistakes. Hell, I just made a mistake in the return live stream. Typically, what you'd want to do is do like an unlisted live test and work out the kinks. But again, there's no better time than in the present. And I've been eager here to get back to live streaming, running a different kind of live stream here on Twitch versus over on YouTube. We have different plans for live streams over on YouTube. Over here on Twitch, it's going to be, again, a little different. I know there's some, pundits out there who say, oh, Twitch is dying, Twitch is dead, Twitch won't be around much longer, and this and that. But the way I feel is I'm going to go live and produce content on Twitch so long as there are still viewers there to watch it. The same rhetoric is pushed around with like TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing is said with TikTok. They say with TikTok, oh, TikTok's not going to be around. TikTok's not going to be around. This and that. And I was hesitant to produce long form content on TikTok initially. Like I was just like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of short form content, and it hasn't really performed well, at least for on the tech channel. It could be different for each, you know what I mean, for each content, or I guess you could say niche, if you will, like depending on the subject and the topic of the channel. But you could also be a variety channel and just kind of talk about a different wide range of topics, or you just do many different things. And that's what I kind of want to do here on the Twitch channel. Like I want to fire up the test bench and go over some live overclocking results with you. Maybe even try to push the RTX 4070 in a dedicated program to try to reach that 3000 gigahertz mark. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You're just going to have to go watch. You're just going to have to go check the you're just going to have to go check that video out if you want to see what I'm talking about. But I would love to hit that 3 gigahertz mark, if not in a game, I guess you could say, then maybe in like Furmark or 3D Mark, something like that. Just get a pass, just so we could say it was capable of 3000 gigahertz, maybe just not capable in the games we tested in that video. And in that video, I mentioned that if it's not stable in games, then it can be a different type of overclocking, like a record-setting overclocking, or overclock, if you will. Not so much as like a performance-boosting overclock. Like if you're running a legacy graphics card, or say, you know what I'm saying, you're running a slightly newer graphics card, like an RTX 20 or 30 series graphics card, and you want to get just a little bit more performance, it could be beneficial for you to overclock in that scenario, to be very honest with you. Because if you're playing like Rainbow Six Siege or one specific type of game, or like in the video, we tested 3 games. So, and that was to illustrate the type of, I guess you could say, average modern gamer. Most average gamers might play, they might, be hyper focused on one particular type of game that they're trying to get good at, like Rainbow Six Siege or Fort or Call of Duty Warzone or CS:GO. It really could depend, or Destiny too. Not really a competitive based game, but if you want to be competitive amongst your peers, then what I'm saying, you could very much want to overclock your graphics card and boost your performance just a bit so your experience doesn't lag. Sorry, gang. I'm gonna put the link out because it did not go out correctly. We live over on Twitch. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put that out. See if we can get some of our regulars to come in. Again, I haven't been live on Twitch in a very long time, so this was more so meant to be a formal introduction. Whoever comes on during this time period, however long I'm live here on Twitch, then so be it. But one of the key areas that you have to pay attention to in your live streaming is consistency, right? Not just like pop up on a live stream for the first time in 3 years here on the platform and expect double-digit viewers, right? Or high audience retention or high audience engagement, like a live chat, right? Like your chat is flowing. No, I haven't been live on this platform in about 3 years, and even when I go live on YouTube, it's not as frequent as before. But even when I go live on YouTube, um, it's not the type of, it's not as consistent as the viewership we had back when we were running the live show, which was consistent every week. It took a lot of planning and prep time to do each show because I did want to go in with a super heavy focused format, if you will, so that the show actually had like a flow to it versus say like in a live stream like this, anything could happen. Like I want to take you all on the used PC part hunt journey, right? Like in the car with me, or just overall, just as I'm going to go meet the sellers, as I'm looking for components while I'm waiting for sellers to get back to me. You know what I mean? I want you all to be an intricate part of that journey or of that experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's one format we'll also add here on the Twitch live streams. On top of that, okay, live builds. Yes, that's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, but I've been unable to run shows from my primary set, the set where I do most of all of our work, all our overclocking, all our build breakdowns, or our GPU breakdowns, or reviews, product reviews, like when we reviewed the Razer Ballast V3. Beautiful gaming mouse, by the way. Beautiful gaming mouse. If you haven't watched that review video, definitely check that over on YouTube as well. A lot of good content over there. Again, different name, Tech with Terrence, and you can find it here on Twitch, but the content that's meant for Twitch is going to be reserved for Twitch. And we may even bleed some of those over into YouTube. I really just haven't decided yet. All I know is that I had to kick the wheels on the tire a little bit and just jump right into it and go live. Right? So yeah, the name change though for any of our regular YouTube audience viewers who are making their way over on this Twitch VOD or over here in the live stream. Let me address the name difference here really fast. So yes, Super Meta Tech. It's been pondering. I said, you know what? I'll start with the branding over on Twitch, and then I'll slowly integrate it over on YouTube. I want to take my name out of the channel name because it seems too personal at that point. And it's really not about me. Like, I don't want a personalized name with my name on the channel. To each their own for my creator friends out there. And I know some who do have their names as part of their channel name. But I want to take the personalization part out of the YouTube name and make it more so about characterization because I want to be more so like a character for the community. The character that helps you save time and money with all things PC gaming. You know what I'm saying? A little plug there, but that's the hook, y'all. Okay? That's the USP. That's the unique selling point. Right? I want to save you time and money, or saving you time and money on all things PC gaming. So we're more of like a heroic figure, if you will, or vigilante, if you will, because I'm gonna call a spade a spade. And you all know currently, as of the time of recording this live stream, here in 2024, I purchase all of the products we review here on the channel. And if ever I'm provided like a sponsored video, or say MSI sends me a 4090, probably not after they saw me overclocking their RTX 4070 Gaming X Slim Super. I said that all wrong. MSI Gaming X RTX 4070 Super Slim. I still said it wrong. MSI RTX 4070 Super Slim Gaming. I still said it wrong. Okay, one more time. MSI Gaming X Slim RTX 4070 Super. There you go. After they saw me overclocking their MSI Gaming X Slim RTX 4070 Super, they're probably like, "No, we're not going to send this guy. We're not going to send him a 4090 so he can overclock that too." But no, quite naturally I wouldn't. Whatever the parameters or whatever we're looking for in the graphics card. But I do like to take the good with the bad, and I don't like having a review controlled for like money or for the whole purpose, or just to get the product to do the video. So that's another reason why most of or all of the products I reviewed here on the channel I've purchased. Okay, I've not been provided. They have not been provided by a brand, or the video hasn't been sponsored. And if it was, I would have definitely, what I'm saying, I would have definitely would have shared that. I would have had no problem with sharing that with the community. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean that's the gist of it. So you'll see over time here, over the next couple of days, maybe you'll see the channel art start to change. I've been creating channel art in the background. I've just been I like to have it when it comes to the channel art and branding. I like to get it to a space where I can walk away from it and feel confident in the end product results, right? Like whatever the content as it comes together, whatever it forms. I like to be confident in it. So yeah, I sit on those things for a little while, like a chicken cook, like a chicken. You know what I mean? Warming its flock. You know what I'm saying? I'll sit on it for a while, but you know what I'm saying? The name kind of is what it is, but it will eventually change over on YouTube. I like to take the personalization or the personalized part out of the YouTube, my name, right, Terrence, out of it. I don't want to be Terrence for you guys here on YouTube. I want to be Soup. I want to be Super. You can still call me Lab, because I am more so just a character to help you achieve, or serve you as a content creator, right? Or as a content curator, or content producer is what I like to say. To be educational, entertaining, all of those things, but most importantly, influential. So if I'm going to make a recommendation for you to do something, then it should be a sound and solid one. But looking, sorry, looking for my power button. I know you're like, what's he talking about? It's my power button, right? It's my power button. It's a nickel. Everybody has one of these around. So you can always have a power button if you're running like an open test setup, because I'm just going to take this here and turn it on. There we go. Power button. But nah. But you can use any kind of metal to bridge the two positive and negative positive and negative pins. I can't talk. Positive and negative pins on the motherboard if you're not running it in a case similar to here, or you need to test it or something like that. But all right. So in that video, oh, my network card popped out. That's great. So in that video, we were able to achieve, and it's saved here, a plus 156. I know you can't see it. Again, you need to watch that video because all the details there. We had achieved about 156 on the core, and 100 and 306. I know it's like 356, but it was actually 306. So it was like a continuity error. That's my bad. Okay. But if 306 on the GPU memory, and 150 plus slightly over on the GPU core. The graphics card was boosted up to like 2700 megahertz all on its own. I'm going to go ahead and enable that overclock again. And then what should we open up? What should we open up? We should maybe, no. Let's open up Red Dead Redemption 2. We're gonna fire up Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm going to kind of, know why I slur those two together. Excuse me, those two words. But we're going to see again if I can kind of get that figure just a little higher in RDR2. You know what I'm saying? Because in the video, what we were targeting in those games we tested in that video, it just was not trying to do it. It just like 3,000 gigahertz was not going to happen. It just wasn't, and that's okay. But hold on. All right, let me put my password in real quick. Or y'all can't deduce what it is. Oh my gosh, no, not right now, Razor Synapse. Okay. All right. All right. So here we are in Fire Red Dead Redemption 2. And we're going to see if yeah, I don't know. Can I get that extra what did we need in the video? 30 megahertz or something like that. And if you're interested in overclocking, it's a beautiful excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. But if you're into overclocking, it's a beautiful tutorial as well. Okay? Beautiful tutorial as well. Come on, Red Dead Redemption 2. A graphically demanding game, for sure. And before once we're up, we'll go back here into MSI Afterburner. And now it's at 156 on the core. We're actually going to start slow, and I'm actually going to introduce like 20 megahertz on top of that, plus 156 on the core. That should leave us at to about 175. Sorry about that again. That should leave us at about 175, give or take. Okay, but that's going to be our target. All right, that's going to be our target. 175. So one. Okay. It's actually 179, but whatever. The slider is just MSI is being wonky right now. All right, so we're at 170. We're at 175 total on the core. That's plus 25 that we added just about from the overclock video. Now let's see if we can get a pass in the synthetic benchmark. Wrong one. In the synthetic benchmark here on Red Dead Redemption 2. All our settings. For the record, I mean, our resolution is 2560 by 1440p. Oh my gosh. Our resolution is 2560 by 1440p, and all our settings are turned up to just about ultra. I know you can't see it, but just giving you a little clarification here. Everything's turned up as high as it possibly can. We're going to run the benchmark and see what the GPU core boosts up to, or if it crashes, because in that video you'll see what was required to hit 3,000 gigahertz, like consistent, stable. It was not trying to do it at that number. So that's another reason why I'm going to start out a little slow here. And I'm going to start out at about 20 to 25 megahertz intervals, because we needed like plus 30. But somewhere along the lines there, things got unstable with the overclock and it kept crashing. So if you want more context, again, after this live show, definitely head over to YouTube and give that a watch. Okay, if you're curious to know, or if you want the full context of the story, this post live stream will make a little bit more sense. And this is something that we might end up doing more of, like follow up live streams to VODs over on the YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? So here we are in the first portion of the Red Dead Redemption 2 of the Red Dead Redemption 2 synthetic benchmark. And we're at 2970 megahertz. That's kind of where we were. That's exactly where we were in that video. So I'm not sure if this is just a result of the GPU downclocking during the benchmark, because if we ran the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, one of the games we tested in that video, it might clock a little higher, probably like 2980, 2985. Something along the lines there. But right now we're at a stable 2970. And this is why I was saying I was going to add like in small intervals. You know what I'm saying? 20 megahertz intervals. In the video, we went with a nasty overclock, is what I called it. Again, go watch the video if you want to know why we called it a nasty overclock. Okay? You gotta go watch the video if you want to know why it was a nasty overclock. And it's slightly down clocking even here, as you can see. Well, you can't see, I'm sorry. It's hard. But if you watch the video over on YouTube, you'll see you know what I'm saying, that it down clocked in this benchmark and others, but for the most part, no, it was consistent. And so here we are in the second portion of the benchmark, and uh we're at stable 2970, y'all. 2970. Interesting. We were at a stable 2970. Temperatures look fine. I don't know. Here we are in the third portion. I mean, so far so good. Two out of three so far in terms of the synthetic benchmark. So that's a plus. That's a bona fide plus. I'm going to give the benchmark a chance to pass before we go back and say, all right, let me try to add like plus 15 now to edge just slightly closer to that 3000 gigahertz mark. Oh, sorry, not 3000 gigahertz, 3 gigahertz. It's 3000 megahertz to be exact, but our GPU temperature is about 56, 57 degrees C. I might adjust the fan speeds to cool it even more, but this could also interfere with our overclock. I typically want the fan to keep the graphics card as cool as possible without increasing the fan speed, keeping the fan speed as low as possible while keeping the temperature as low as possible as well. And right now, like I mentioned in the video, because ambient temperature does play a role, our ambient temperature, we're at about, I don't know if you can see that, but let me see if we can. It's about 25 degrees C. As you can see, it's about 25 degrees C. So our ambient temperature, I know it's a little difficult to see because of the light, but yeah, about 25 degrees C. So it's not that bad down here where I'm recording at, but it looks like we're going to get a pass. It's a little better because I didn't increase the memory speed, but you know, that's where I had surmised that we were running into our instability woes, is when it got around to overclocking the memory. So this time, right now, what I'll do is overclock the core until I maybe hit a wall, and then maybe try to overclock the memory. I think we're going to try that. But we got a pass in Red Dead Redemption 2. All right. So our average FPS is about 9. We'll round up. We'll say 96. We'll say 96. All right. So that's a good sign. So here's what we're going to do now. So we're at 179. But in the video, things went south, at least in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, once we crept up to that 200 mark. And right now we're at 179. So I'm just going to go straight to 200. So that's like plus 21 on the core. I'm just going to take it to a smooth 200 and see. Also, you know what, Twitch world, Tech world, I'm also going to adjust the fan speed, like I said I was going to do. I'm just going to adjust the fan speed. I'm just going to kick the fan speed up just a little more. This graphics card is quiet. Sound's not a problem. Sound shouldn't be an issue anyway when you're overclocking, but up to 60, or better, I'm going to say 65. That way it's actually noticeable. And actually now it did kind of kick on. I know you maybe can't hear it because the mic's not there, but it's definitely noticeable at 65. So, but that should keep the graphics card running nice and cool. We're at 202 on the core, plus 300 on the memory. Again, I'm going to add to the memory once we run into a wall on a GPU core. So let's just see. All right, let's see if we can now pass Red Dead Redemption 2. And will that take us, we were about 30 short during the benchmark. Why do I keep doing that? We were about 30 short during the benchmark. So let's see if that plus 20 should put us at about like 29.99 because of math. Not my strong point, but it should put us very close to or 27.90 maybe when it's not down clocking, like when it's running stable. That should put us relatively close to that 3,000 megahertz mark, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Just gonna have to wait and see. 3D Mark. If it passes in Red Dead Redemption 2, then yeah, we're also going to run it on 3D Mark. That's just facts. Come on, RDR2. And we're actually over 3,000 megahertz. So now we're at 3,015 megahertz. 3,015 megahertz, y'all. It's 3 gigahertz, over 3 gigahertz. That puts us stable in Red Dead Redemption 2 so far. There aren't any immediate crashes, but we got a little bit of artifact in there. Just a little blip, just a little blink. That's not a good sign. That makes me nervous. That makes me a little cautious. I think we tapped out about 95.8 FPS, or we said we rounded up to 96. Just something to keep in mind there. About 96 when we first ran the previous overclock. And I am getting some artifacting here. And there it goes. We crashed out. Live on camera, we crashed out. I again, like I said in the video, I don't think this graphics card wants to is filling 3,000 megahertz. I really don't. Ah. Should we try to up the memory? I think I'm gonna try to up the. I think I'm gonna try to up the memory. I think that's exactly what I'm gonna try to do. I think I'm gonna try to up the memory and see if that helps in RDR2. If not, then I know it's not. It's not the memory. It's the core. It's the core. It's always the core. Always the core. All right, 350. We're going to go up to 350 on the core of the memory, or the clock speed on the memory. Leave it at 202 on the GPU. In fact, a part of me wants to scale this down because we were over 3,000 megahertz in the first portion. Let's go 190. Typically, you want to make one change and then test. A little bit of do as I say and not as I do, if you will. But typically, you want to make like one change and then test and see if you get a pass here. But again, I'm all about the nasty. I'm all about the nasty overclocks. So plus 190 on the GPU core, plus 350 on the memory core. And we'll see if we get our artifacting like we just did in Red Dead Redemption 2 and or crash like we just did in Red Dead Redemption 2. So wherever you are in this live stream, if you're watching on the replay VOD or you're here with me now, you'll see that while I was just in the middle of a take with the GPU artifact and saying that that's not a good sign. Typically, if it's artifacting, it's not stable. I mean, you want your overclock to have no artifacting, no system crashes, no stuttering, just a smooth overclock. But this is a nasty one too. There's typically nothing smooth about anything nasty, but and within all context and all seriousness, overclocking your graphics card, you got to get a little dirty, right? You got to get a little dirty, and no other. There aren't any other limitations that I can consider beyond the limitation of what this graphics card can achieve in terms of an overclock. All right, so let's run our benchmark. Let's see if we can pass that second part of the synthetic benchmark, or if we can just pass the benchmark altogether. We'll know something's wrong if we start seeing artifacting in the beginning like we just did. Like we'll know something's not right. So hopefully it's stable. But you can't deal and hope when you're overclocking. It's computer and hardware, I mean, they're absolute. They function as the way they're intended, and really nothing more beyond that. So it's not about hope. It's about the limitations of the graphics card. And maybe the silicon lottery, of course, quite naturally. I had mentioned that in the video. Overclocking really is all about the silicon lottery. each silicone is going to be different for each component, right? Like especially with your graphics card and your CPU. They're all made the same, they're all built the same, but they're not all made the same, if that makes sense. So, all right, here we are. We're at dead 3000 megahertz after dropping the GPU core down to 190. 10,852 megahertz on the memory, which is double the data rate. So that's like 2,700 or 27,000 megahertz. It's insane. So we're at 27,000 megahertz just about on the memory. It was here where we crashed. Previous scene where we experienced artifacting. We did not experience artifacting in the previous scene. And so far, we haven't crashed where we did before because we didn't make it past that big tree. I remember. I believe we didn't make it past that big tree. But we're at 3,000. We're at 3,000 megahertz solid. GPU temperature is at 52 degrees C. Not bad. I don't know, y'all. It's still too early to tell because there's a lot left to the benchmark. Bella Willingness says, "Hey, how are you? What's happening, Bella?" Bella Williams. I'm sorry. Sorry to see the chat. What's happening? What's good? A little bit of live overclocking. Trying to revitalize the Twitch channel here. This is more so like a live demo recording if you know what I'm saying, but yeah, it's good to see you, Bella. And we're on the third portion now of the synthetic benchmark, still at 3,000 megahertz. Memory speed has stayed the same. GPU temperature has stayed the same, about 51, 52 degrees C. That's really neat. Really neat. Bella, if you're still with us, tell me where you're watching from. But welcome to the chat. Welcome to the Super Meta Tech chat. All right. And now we're in the fourth and final portion of the benchmark. And we're still at 3,000 megahertz. We're still at 3,000 megahertz. And we crashed. Right as I clear my throat. Crash. No. Yes. Yes, we crashed. Oh, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's dial the memory speed back a little bit. Down from 350 because it was also weird around there to about 325. If I can keep the core where it's at, it could qualify at least in Red Dead Redemption 2 at 3,000 gigahertz. But if it passes in 3D Mark, then it's like a half overclock. It's not my typical rule of thumb of at least a pass in 3 games and 3D Mark. First, we got to get it to pass in Red Dead Redemption 2. What am I talking about? Before we jump over to the damn 3. We got to get it past in Red Dead Redemption 2 before we jump over to 3D Mark. We're at 350 megahertz total on the memory core. So let's drop it down to 325. Okay, we're gonna drop it down to 325. Again, GPU temperature not a problem. We're running a 750 G3 gold rated power supply unit. So the power delivery shouldn't be an issue as well. Again, I just think it could just be limitation, just graphics card limitations, y'all, that I'm running into. I really do. But we're going to find out here. I was confident in the results of the video, though, because when, in all seriousness, it was meant to be an effective overclock. Like, not just let me see how far I could do it, but just if there were any benefits to overclocking. Now, for that portion, though, I'm not going to spoil that for you. You got to go watch the video to get those results. But your results, speaking of, could very much vary. And again, I strongly believe you could get better results from overclocking older graphics cards and even CPUs, right? And that's, of course, something we're going to revisit. We're not done with overclocking, quite naturally. We're just getting started. But we're back in the settings. I'm going to run the synthetic test benchmark. We made it all the way to the end. I would have much preferred it to crash, y'all, somewhere early on so that I know it's unstable from the very beginning versus making our way down like through the whole entire benchmark and it crash at the end. Come on now, what is that? But yeah. All right, let's see if we can. Let's see now if we'll get, a pass here in Red Dead Redemption 2. For those of you who are just coming on, I'm modifying the overclocking results from the overclocking video we did over on the YouTube channel to see if we can push for that 3000 megahertz mark here in Red Dead Redemption 2. If you watch that video, we tested some other games where it just wasn't trying to play nice. This overclock wasn't playing nice in those games. But now it's more so about a record like overclock, trying to get this graphics card to 3000 megahertz stable in at least one game. It'd be nice if we can get it stable in at least one game. When we pass the, what was it, plus 179 on the GPU core, plus 300 on the memory, Red Dead Redemption 2 passed with like a 95.8 FPS average, so we just rounded up to 96. So we're going to do a quick, nasty compare and contrast to those FPS marks, or to that FPS mark. Should we be able to pass, though? We got to pass. I can't speak on it until we pass. And again, we're at 50. GPU temperature is about 51 degrees C. So that's not an issue. Temperature is not an issue. I did up the fan speed by like 15% higher than it was in the original overclocking video we did on YouTube. In that video, we kept it at just straight 51%. It was just dialed in at straight 51%. So far, no artifacting. These are all good signs. These are all good signs. But that GPU, I mean, I don't. Maybe y'all can hear it. I really. Bolted. Okay. I really can't hear, or I'm sorry, I really can't tell. But maybe y'all can hear it. But I don't know. But it is loud, noticeably loud, like noticeably loud. Fingers crossed, y'all. Fingers crossed. We're in the third portion now. We're in the third portion of the overclock. Or I'm sorry, of the synthetic benchmark with our overclock. And we're downclocking still. Now we're at 2985 megahertz. Ouch. So we dipped down a little bit from that 3000 mark we were able to hit. Now it's here where things got real nasty. So let's see if we can get a pass. Fingers crossed. Come on. I think we're slightly past it. Slightly. Nope. Nope. Like the movie. And here's the interesting thing. I mean, we're dialing the memory back. And I'm like, if I dial the GPU core back, we're just at similar numbers that we were in the video. So right now we're at 100 plus 190 total on the core, plus 325 total on the memory. And again, that's plus 190 on top of what the graphics card is already boosting up to. This graphics card in our initial test for that video is boosting up anywhere between 2700 to 2800 megahertz. So it's like plus 190 on those two parameters, somewhere in between there. It's plus 190 on between those two figures. And the same thing with our memory, plus 325 on our memory. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. If I dial the GPU core, this is the same dilemma I ran into in the video. If I dial the core back, we're just getting further and further away from that 3000 mark that it's required to hit stable. So I guess we'll drop it down to 175. We'll do 175. Leave the memory at 325. And if it passes, if it passes, then that tells me that it's the memory that may need to be increased to compensate for the GPU for the core being overclocked. But that's no here or there. Let's find out. Okay. quitting. Play. Let's find out. We're almost there because we make it to the fourth. We almost get through the whole entire benchmark before it decides to just tap out, crash out. Like, I would say it's frustrating, but I enjoy overclocking. This is the like gambling portion, if you will, not knowing what you're going to get or if it's going to be successful or if it'll crash. If it's successful, that could lead to, like a record breaking overclock or a modest performance boost. But with newer graphics cards like the RTX 40 series and 30 series boosting up all on their own over 2000 megahertz, overclocking is kind of not necessarily going. Overclocking won't necessarily yield you big results. So this is mostly just for fun. But all right, plus 175 on the core, plus 325 on the memory. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Okay. And again, if it passes, oh man, if it passes, here's what we're gonna do. I shouldn't speculate until it does pass. But if it does pass, here's what we're gonna do. Probably end up upping the memory until I get a crash. Leave the core how it is at 175 plus 175 megahertz, but slowly increase the memory clock speed until we reach instability. But if it passes, then yeah, increase memory core, and then we'll bump the GPU core back up just to see if we can get back to or stay locked at 3000 megahertz. See, even in this scene where it was hitting 3015 megahertz and started at 3000 megahertz, down clock to 2985 megahertz, which even if we're rounding up, still not quite 3000 megahertz. And I don't want to round up. I wanted to be locked in at 3000 megahertz, not down clocking at all. And now we're just boosting up to 2970 megahertz. That was the highest stable we were able to get in that video, which that definition, that's rounded up to 3000 megahertz. But I would like for us to stay locked in that figure indefinitely and be able to have like the 15 megahertz to compensate for the down clock. But adding that 15 megahertz is what leads us to instability, because at 190 on the core is when we ran into instability. I mean, hell, in the video, we ran higher than that and still ran into instability. So that's why I called it in the video at where we were. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We're going to have to see. Passing the second one, no GPU artifacting. That's good. Live on camera. Job, man. God to my nose. Nope. So, like I was saying, ah, hmm, here's what we're gonna do. I take back all of what I just said 10 minutes ago, obviously, because we didn't pass that plus 175 on the GPU core and plus 325 on the memory. Like we didn't pass, so okay. So here's what we're gonna do: lower the memory back to 300, leave the GPU core where it is. If we pass at 175, it's about plus 25 on the GPU core versus in that video in the total benchmark collection of games we tested. But I'm gonna be optimistic here and say that this maybe could get us a pass. If it doesn't, because we knew we were stable at 156 and 306 on the memory, we were stable there, no issues. So if it crashes out here, then we know that our core, we can't get much out of the core, right? Plus 156 on top of what it's already boosting up to. That's its headroom. It just can't go any further, any faster. That's just where we're going to be stuck at. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. Let's see. One more again. Again, this is overclocking. You know what I'm saying? This is just the nature of the beast, if you will. Hmm. Fun times. And you know what? This is the first time I've done this live, believe it or not. I mean, you probably do believe it, but this is the first time I've done this live. Interestingly enough, some of the same results I got in the video we got here live. And then some of the same moments too. Again, that video is a good watch, man. Definitely check that out. If you found your way over here to the Twitch channel and you're watching this VOD or you're here with me now and you want more content, definitely jump over to the YouTube channel. Tech with Terrence. Going to soon be Super Meta Tech as well to kind of keep things uniform and granular, if you will. But all right, here we go. Attempt number 775. Over exaggeration, but still. This is our like what? Probably our seventh attempt now, maybe give or take. I don't know. Who's counting? Somebody. Somewhere is probably or correcting me. But here we go. We're gonna see if we can get it past plus 175 on the GPU core, plus 300 on the memory. Mm. I I would be that doesn't even really satisfy me in terms of an overclock. It's only plus 25 megahertz difference on the stable overclock, and that's I can tell you now that's not going to impact your games all that big, all that much of it. You know, it won't have a significant impact on your FPS. It just won't. But we'll see. First step is to get a pass. And we'll kind of, and the final FPS figure should illustrate that because we were at 95.8 FPS average with 156 on the core and 300 on the memory. And we're only adding plus 25 megahertz on top of that. So that's not going to give us like an extra 5 to 10 frames. It just won't. You might want to jump up into the closer to the 3-digit mark, you know, like plus 60, plus 75, somewhere along the lines there. But I believe we crashed here. Let's see if we make it through. If we do, that'd be good stuff. If not, it's still good stuff. We were able to get overclock. It's just not 3,000, 3,000 megahertz. This card can do it. Doesn't mean I won't try again, though. Let me get my hands on another 40 series graphics card. Or MSI is somewhere planning to ship me out that 4090. so I can review that. Would love to do a review. I use the 3090 in my primary content rig. It still gets the job done. 24 gigabytes of VRAM. I mean, that card is still beast mode to me. It plays all the games I like playing leisurely, if you will, at 4K with no issues. So I'm not really interested in upgrading for my content rig quite yet, but it is what it is. Now we're in the third portion. So far, so good. We crashed out in the second portion of the synthetic benchmark before, and altogether in the fourth portion of the benchmark, we just couldn't do it. And if it does pass, it'd be like plus 15 megahertz on top of what we were already able to achieve at 2970 megahertz. So again, not all that much of a difference compared to what we were able to be stable at the other games we tested. So I don't know. Here we are. I would say, can I get a drum roll? But it probably won't sound very pleasing on your ears. All I know is can we see Arthur walk by the cash register and not freeze? We made it out the door. All right. It's still too early to tell. No artifacting. But we're locked at 2970 megahertz. I actually don't expect the FPS. I don't anticipate the FPS to change. Let me say that. I don't anticipate the FPS to change. We're dead locked in at where we were for the overclocking video. And the GPU temperature is at 55 degrees C. Staying cool, but man, it's not enough to prevent downclocking. I don't know. One other attempt maybe to run it at 100% fan speed, things are going to get loud. Y'all are definitely going to hear it at that point. And let me apologize in advance for when that does happen, but y'all are definitely going to feel it though. All right. Making a pass here, these gentlemen. And I did play this game. I tried playing. I played the first Red Dead Redemption on Xbox 360. Yes, that's right. Your boy Soup was a console gamer. Messed up PS5, but obviously gaming is at its best when it's here. But I couldn't get into it. So it's essentially just part of the benchmarking software. It is a great game to test. It has a lot going on. It's very graphically demanding, a lot of textures, reflections going on. It looks good. I mean, I have no issues with the game. The game is great. I'm just not into westerns. I like science fiction games and futuristic based games. I'm just not into westerns. So, but yeah, so we're going to get a pass. Let's see what the FPS was. Let's see what the FPS was now with adding what just plus 25 megahertz on a GPU core. And what was it? We went up point maybe point 0.3 FPS. Not even a full FPS. We were at 95.8, and now we're at 96.1. So yeah, point 0.2. It went up point. It's ridiculous. So here's what we're gonna do. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Since we didn't crash out, one last attempt. We're gonna kick the fan speed up. First of all, to 100. The jet's getting ready to take off. Y'all probably can hear that, and I've already tried to apologize in advance, but things are loud, things are messy right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go 185 on the core, okay? Not going to change the memory because the memory is just not trying to have it. So we're at plus 185 on the core. Let's see if we pass. And then let's also see if we're able to get an FPS boost from that. I don't know. I would love to see what happens when I get closer to that 200 megahertz mark. I will definitely call it because no matter what, as soon as I creep up on that 200 megahertz mark, instant crash. Not instant crash, but in the other games we were playing, we couldn't even make it to the damn setting screen. We couldn't even make it in to change the settings. It just would crash at the settings. So definitely frustrating. But let's see now what happens. I mean, if the GPU fans are so loud. Again, I apologize in advance for the noise level. I really do. But let's see what we got. Let's see where we at. So I noticed the FPS is a little higher in this scene because I know it wasn't hovering over 70 consistent before. And we're deadlocked at 3000 megahertz. GPU temperature is currently under 50 degrees C. And for those of you who are interested, I couldn't hook my Kuman power reader up to where the test bed is connected to. MSI Afterburner gives you a decent idea of what your power draw is, and we're over 220. So the GPU is running cool. We're not drawing that much power. We're generating that much power, generating that much heat. Still no artifacting. This was a scene where we were down clocking too, y'all. It's about 2985 megahertz. We stay deadlocked at 3000 megahertz in that scene. Fingers crossed, because we could very much get to where we need to be to reach 3000 megahertz stable. And I also want to add that with the graphics card screaming right now, which you probably can hear, but with the graphics card screaming right now, our temperatures hasn't really stayed all that low. Where we just hit 51 degrees C. With it running at about 50 to 65 fan speed, it was under 60 degrees C anyway. It was like 55, 57. So still, any gains is beneficial here and helpful for sure. But we're in the third portion. Still no artifacting. Still no crashes. But then we're back under 49 degrees C. But let's see what happens in this fourth portion, because that is where we were. That is where we kept experiencing all of our system crashes in that fourth portion. So let's see what happens here. Typically right around here, he couldn't make it. Arthur couldn't make it past the cash register. Eats the money. Run that. Okay. Can he make it past the register? We did. Good sign there. Can he make it out the door? We did. Another good sign there. And we're deadlocked at 3,000 megahertz. So that's like plus 30 on top of that. And so the fans running at 100% could have helped play a role. And again, if the average gamer would likely be overclocking their hardware with it inside of a case. So your temperatures could vary. And we're still locked at 3,000 megahertz, y'all. I don't know. I couldn't get a stable. I couldn't get none of the benchmarks to pass in the overclocking tutorial story video at 3,000 megahertz. None of them passed. Or I'm sorry, not none of them, but the primary one didn't pass, so I didn't test it in any of the others. But the objective for this overclock is just to get 1 and possibly 3D Mark. So if we pass here in 3D Mark, then perhaps we will try. I'm sorry, if we pass here in Red Dead Redemption 2, then we'll try 3D Mark, and then kind of go from there and see what we got. But yeah, so far so good. Let's see what the FPS difference is with our graphics card running at 3,000 megahertz. It'd have been nice to get some of the other games, or I could test one of the other ones, but I don't know. Let's just see. Let's see what the FPS game was. Kind of gives you an indicator. It'd be still nice for you to go watch that full video, but it gives you an idea of kind of what to expect with the overclock and compare and contrast results. And then yeah, we're going to get a pass. It would so suck if it crashed all the way at the end of the benchmark. It'd be totally unfair. And 96.4. So maybe 1 frame, not even 1 frame. We've made it up to. You have to ask yourself, is that worth the exorbitant amount of noise? You know what I'm saying? The trade off of 1 frame wouldn't be in Red Dead Redemption 2. Would not be in Red Dead Redemption 2. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to get it to pass in 3D Mark. As you can see in Red Dead Redemption 2, it didn't really give us that big of a bump, but we'll run the same 3D benchmark I ran in that video. So 2560 by 1440p, 2 graphic tests, and we only run the graphics test. I'll exclude the demo to kind of to speed it up a little bit, but we only run the graphics test, and it's a DirectX 12 benchmark, and that's going to help us kind of put the overclock through an absolute synthetic ringer, if you will, to really test what the GPU overclock is like. I did this in the overclocking tutorial video, but it was with an overclock that was stable in all 3 of the games we tested in that video. So, all right. So here we are in benchmarks. Time Spy DirectX 12. Again, it's 2560 by 1440p. We're not going to include the demo. The graphic test features particle shadows, tessellation, and ray marched volumetric illumination. So again, it puts your graphics card through the ringer. We'll see if we can pass in 3D Mark. I mean, to me, this is the ultimate benchmark to pass your overclock in. I mean, honestly, most professional overclockers go almost directly into 3D Mark, but I'm all about community. So most of our community aren't professional overclockers. Most of our community are gamers who just want to get the most out of their PC hardware. Like that's it, verbatim. And I totally resonate with that. That's why your boy Soup is here to help facilitate that, to help get you through that. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's see. Running the first graphics test. Graphics card is still screaming. But we're running the first graphics test. Well, let's see what happens. You tell me. Well, you can tell me, but we'll just see. We're dead at 3,000 megahertz. And I'll tell you what, if we can get it to pass Oh no, it down clocked. So it didn't crash, but it down clocked. I would have loved for it to stay locked at 3000 megahertz stable. 2985, 51 degrees C. We're drawing significantly more power here in this benchmark than we were in Red Dead Redemption 2. That's for sure. Ouch. 53 degrees C, 2955. We're down clocking even more. And there's no way I could compensate what that 45, 60 megahertz difference. It's just not going to happen. It wasn't in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, would it in 3D Mark? I mean, are we going to escalate this and just say, you know what I mean? Let's just go 3000 megahertz stable in 3D Mark time spy. The heck with the games. Let's just go with the nasty synthetic overclock. That's what we'll call it, the synthetic overclock. We'll call it the synthetic overclock. Let's see if we can get it on a synthetic overclock. And then we're in the second graphics test. Pass one. Let's see if we can pass two. And we've down clocked even further. Wow. 2910. And even at 2895, 2940, we're just going down. Oh my goodness. And this benchmark really puts, like, this portion is the second graphics test really runs your card hard, fam. I'm telling you. In the video, I saw the highest GPU temperature spikes in this benchmark, and some of the steepest down speed down clocks in all of the benchmark testing we did. And it's even more prevalent now. 2925 we're at right now. And we're drawing more power and more heat. We're generating more heat, more and drawing more power. Wow. Just to show how graphically demanding 3D Time Spy is on your hardware, on your graphics card. It's going to skip the CPU test because we opted out of that. We'll save that when we're testing, when we're overclocking CPUs. But oh wait, no, it did include. I thought I excluded the CPU test. Oh well, we'll go through it, I guess. As you can see, you can't see. I'm sorry, but okay, I thought so. All right, yeah, our CPU was at like 85% utilization, and GPU was at like 4%. Just wasn't being used. So we passed, but you know what? If we didn't get 3000, 2139.5. Average 3D Mark says the average is 2059.1. The best is 2288. That's the world's best time spy score with the NVIDIA RTX 4070 Super and a 12th generation i9 12900K. Same CPU I'm running, ironically, but wow. I mean, we're not that we're modestly far off from the record at 22,888 megahertz. We're not no. I mean, I don't even know what, you know what I'm saying, what all that entailed, but their graphics card could have been cooled on water. You know what I mean? If you got it on water, then fan speeds isn't even an issue. I mean, the graphics card can stay incredibly cool without the graphics card needing to rely on any other systems to help, to run the fans. So, but that wasn't the case for us here, y'all. Hmm. Well, here's what we're gonna do. We'll say this is overclock number 2. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go up to a little over 200 on the core and about plus 50 on the memory, and just see if that gives us a pass in 3D Mark. So let's go 200. I mean, we were at one. We were so far off from where we needed to be at 3000 megahertz stable. I'm sorry, y'all. We're doing this the nasty way. 225, okay, plus 350. Because if 3D Mark isn't having none of it, oh, it's gonna let us know very early on. That's for damn sure. It's gonna let us know very early on if it's not having it with this overclock. So Let's see what we got. 225. That's like plus 40 on top of what we just ran it at because it was at 185, I believe it was. So, yeah, plus 40. That might give us the overhead we need if it's stable to stay at 3000 megahertz. Our last score was 21,395. So, if it passes, just for a little clarity, it's at 21,395, 21,395. So, if we pass, let's see what we're able to achieve. Will it be the record? Obviously not. I'm not expecting to be able to cap that record. I'm just not. Let's be honest here. Not with this graphics card. This graphics card just ain't built for that, chief. But the downclocking isn't as bad. We're a little bit all over the place. We were just at 315, 330, 345. Nope. Okay. So maybe just a little too nasty. Let's start. I mean, memory typically gives you the most. So let's dial that back. Let's start with memory. Okay. I like that 3D mark. I like that Time Spy crashes out on you very early on. I really do. I like that it crashes out on you very early on. So let's see what we got. So frustrating. We were there, y'all. We were actually way over 3000 megahertz, but what that would have correlated to our or what how that would have reflected our score remains to be seen. We got to get it to pass first at where we are. You know what I'm saying? So, runner up or first up, graphics test 1. Overclock did not survive very long. So, let's see. Looks like some Jurassic Park setup going on there. Oh. Oh. None of it. None of it. Let's go 200 and drop back down on the memory to 300. So plus 200 on the core, plus 300 on the memory. Okay. Did we hit check mark? Okay. All right. Plus 200 on the core, plus 300 on the memory. Let's see. Again, I like that it crashes out early. This lets me know very early on that things aren't going to look good for the rest of the benchmark. I'd hate for the benchmark to run both tests or pass one test, but error out on the second one? Yeah, that would double suck too. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If you're watching this on the replay, shout out to y'all. Again, I don't think Twitch gets. I don't think it's all about the replay on Twitch. I really don't. I'll leave them up, but again, we might migrate some of these on an official like Super Meta Live for like live stream clips and replays, what have you, because Twitch is not. I'm sorry, Twitch isn't built. I was looking at I was looking at our GPU clock speed, but Twitch isn't built for replay VODs. You can leave them up, but I don't really anticipate much traffic. I would much rather hyper focus on real time engagement with Twitch audience, with our Twitch audience, or just our audience, or the community in general here on Twitch. It's gonna be different. Be out and about, be out in the open. I don't know if I can stream in Micro Center. Might be some privacy concerns there, but maybe on the way. We're down clocking even more 2955, 2970, 3015, 3000. I mean, we haven't crashed out yet. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign that the memory was the issue. Oh, and now because memory was the issue, does that mean we can go back up on the clock? We're going to see. We'll see. We're on the second graphics test now. But if it does pass on the second graphics test, I think I may try to go back up on the clock a little bit, maybe a whole lot, because we still down clock significantly in this portion of the synthetic benchmark. 2895. That's about where the same we dropped that in previous attempts. 2940, 2888, 2895, 2940. I mean, 2970. Not it's not downclocking as it's not downclocking as much as it was, but it still is. Temperature and heat still playing a role. That's why on water you could get a much better stable result because your temperature is going to be about at least 15 to 25 degrees C, depending on the water block, your fluid type of fluid you're using, the efficiency of your water pump. Those things will play a factor, but you should see like 15 to 25 degrees C cooler temperatures on your graphics card, and that will eliminate downclocking. That's why that record at what was it 2288 or something like that. The record was that user could have been running a water block. Don't know. They could have been using a water block. Same setup, right? 12900K. They could have been using a water block. I would love to put this 4070 Super on water and maybe revisit this in the future, but how about we just start on air first? How about we start with an air overclock first? We passed 3D mark at 200 on the core, 300 on the memory. Didn't boost our score up all that much, if at all. Wow. I mean, we're past the average. We are overclocked, so I imagine us we would be past the average. But I'll tell you what, let's try keep the memory the same, GPU the same, or go about 225 on a GPU. See what that gets us. I'm not gonna go too nasty here because it's hard to tell in between how far could we go or how far do we need to go. But there wasn't that much of a difference between our scores going up in that small amount in that small increment. So let's see what we got now. Keeping the memory same in the GPU. Can we retain that clock speed a little better? Can we stay dialed in at 3000 megahertz, please? Why does Twitch want me to sign in? I should be already signed into the chat, y'all. I'm sorry if I'm sorry. It's my one friend who popped up live with us, but Twitch wants me to sign into the chat. I'm already signed into stream through Streamlabs. Streamlabs. I must want to go stream on StreamYard, y'all. But I'm already live on StreamYard, so I don't. And there it goes. There it goes, y'all. Wow. Hmm. Well, again, past 200 on the core. This graphics card is just not capable of doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up the first, or just revert everything back to stock because the graphics card was just too damn loud. But yeah, so more or less that was the same results I got in the overclocking video we did over on the YouTube channel. If you want more context, it's shorter than this live stream, but if you want more context, head over on YouTube, Tech with Terrence. Tech with Terrence. Again, that name's going to change here soon. But head over to YouTube. You can click through on the link here on the homepage of Twitch and give that video a watch for full context. And you'll see why I was content on the numbers I was, especially because it needed to pass all three games, regardless of what the FPS results were. In order to make it to 3D Mark, I really needed it to pass GTA 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Red Dead Redemption 2 to make it to 3D Mark. So that's where we were in that video, and here and even in this live stream. 200 on the core, 300 on the memory was as stable as it was able to get in 3D Mark Time Spy. So I don't know. I guess the graphics card tops out at 200 on the core, 300 on the memory in 3D Time Spy, and I'm okay with that. Again, overclocking is largely in part all about the silicone lottery, and I apparently have lost it with this graphics card. Brother Cliff It's good to see you, brother Cliff. What's happening? First player, or maybe that's not brother Cliff. First players, I think that is brother Cliff. I think your name's slightly different. But what's good, first players? We just got done doing a live overclocking session or an MSI Afterburner in 3D Mark. And first attempt in that video, in the overclocking video we published on YouTube. Oh, okay, Cliff. Yeah, it's good to see you, brother Cliff. So we just got done doing live overclocking session here about the last 45 minutes or so. And plus 200 on the core, plus 300 in memory was all I can get out of the graphics card on Time Spy. I know you're one of our day ones, so I know you watched the YouTube video. But wow, Cliff said you setting up your new car. What'd you get, Cliff? Cliff is a hardware giant, y'all. But let us know what you got, Cliff. For full context, in the beginning of this live stream, I had talked about not trying to, or this is part of my initiative to revitalize the live stream format or the live stream content with a brand and having a distinguished live streaming format between Twitch and YouTube. Still going to go live on YouTube. Twitch, please don't shadow ban me for this. But YouTube is still the better platform to go live. Twitch, you got a little bit more freedom. So that's why we're going to do a little bit more. Excuse me, we're going to do we're going to do things a little bit differently here on Twitch. Okay. Live overclocking, live builds, live teardowns. You know what I mean? While the format over on YouTube will be just you know what I mean? It will just be a whole different vibe because YouTube is more so about search and discovery. If you want your live streams to go far, here on Twitch is more so on the entertainer, right? Your community will grow on Twitch, or like we're having one of our day ones, like first players come over from the YouTube community over on Twitch. It's gonna be a beautiful blend. I mean, I'm just gonna do things a little different here, y'all, than I would on YouTube. And then there's the name change. I addressed the name change earlier in the stream because you'll notice it's different here on the Twitch stream. Super Meta Tech. I want to not make the brand as so much as about me and not personalize it around my name, Terrence. I mean, I'm Terrence off the internet, but here I'm a character. That character is meant to help save you time and money with all things PC gaming, tech in general. I mean, that hardware related to your setup: keyboard, mouse, desk, monitor, cooling, motherboard, case, laptop. I don't really touch laptops too much, but Cliff says, "Can we use our prime?" Oh, Cliff got 7900 XTS. Beautiful, beautiful. I've been targeting an AMD card here because I want to overclock an AMD card. Yeah, cool trial Twitch. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this live stream, I think you can. I don't think you can use your Prime subs yet. I met one of the monetization requirements on here on Twitch. I need to stream more to meet the other, and that's, I believe, like 3 concurrent viewers. But it would be great though, so we can start, monetizing the Twitch, right? Start helping benefit the benefit the content. But there's always YouTube memberships over on YouTube, as we're also going to rebrand those and make that more meaningful for our YouTube members. Where if you become a Twitch member, then you know what I mean, it's going to just hit like, you know what I mean, incredibly different. I agree with you, Cliff. PC Twitch is severely, it is, and it's very fun to see these things live. I know you came in the back end, but the system crashes, the frustrations, the size, all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, PC chat benchmark, podcast, what have you. Absolutely. I have more on the podcast, but that's for the YouTube live stream. We'll talk about that on the YouTube live stream. I shared some with YouTube members over on YouTube about with our Dark Tech Diaries entries. That's just one of the benefits for YouTube members. If you want to kind of get a more private talk about personalization and privatization. If you want a private glimpse into me as a human creator, whatever person, then the Dark Tech Diaries series is a surefire way to do so. But in the Dark Tech Diary series on YouTube for members, I did talk about the status of the podcast in a few diary entries. But in a blended format, absolutely. I like the just chat. The just chatting segment here on Twitch is through the roof. Why aren't there enough? Why isn't PC like first player said? Where is PC Twitch at, y'all? That's going to be the super community. Then that's going to be us. That's going to have to be us. Day ones like first players and some of our other members over on YouTube and other day ones. We're going to have to make Twitch. We're going to have to make the best of PC Twitch. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this was just a test. I initially didn't anticipate anybody coming on. I did share it over on Twitter just to kind of give it a bump and to make it fun for some of our viewers. But Twitch doesn't have great discoverability. I think it's next to non-existent, to be exact. Twitch doesn't have great discoverability, so it's really relying on sharing the stream out and getting new faces, on in front of the camera, what have you. Cliff says, I think it's more PC centric audience because a lot of people say they're console gamers, but they come over here watching their favorite streamer. He's streaming on PC, so he's streaming on PC, so then that they follow for sure. And because my gameplay, and Cliff and first players, you've been around for a minute. Cliff's been around for a long time now, since I've for a few years. But I've done gameplay live streams over on YouTube a great deal. Typically, they don't perform as well as like just your podcast more format live streams over on YouTube. So I will give a little bit of hint here. When that happens, it'll be a blended match of say like live stream post or like after show and then like a recorded podcast where we cover news and other events and things like that. Something that I normally don't do. I don't cover like news segments and all that's going on with 13th generation, 14th generation Intel CPUs. The ninth generation AMD Ryzen CPUs have just dropped, like the 9600X, but I still think there's hella life left. And old babies like this one here, like the what we picked up, the 5600X. Very capable, more than capable for what most gamers need to achieve. But Cliff raised a very valid point. Most gamers who come over on Twitch, they play on console. And in the beginning of the live stream, I did, we welcome our console brothers and sisters. Y'all welcome. Come on and see what you're missing out. Part of our initial goal in this community for all members is to help educate and inform gamers who are on the fence about making a transition over from console to PC. Consoles have a purpose, but PCs have character. Damn it, it's on a shirt. I put it on some lab merch, which we'll start, promoting here more as I added more entries. But I put it on a shirt because consoles have a purpose, but PCs have character. Okay, video games are designed on computers for computers. This is a spiel I've been saying since almost day one, since I got heavy into making videos on this platform. Another fun format I thought would be pretty neat is to like react to some of my older videos. I'm not looking forward to that, but holy shit, that is something I might want to do. Is react to older videos. But yeah, have console gamers come on, ask questions in real time. Like if they're on the fence, do live system builds. Yeah, I'm not, running it to like a screen share, and of course I would. Right here, either on my laptop or hook up a second monitor. If whatever we would need to do, trust me, we can definitely make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Cliff says, I've been checking out Java, getting some legacy deals. They have a GTX type. Whoa. They have a six. Whoa. I didn't say what? Java? Hold on. See, I told y'all, Cliff is a hardware giant, y'all. All right, Java. Let's see. Cliff might be on to something. Oh, they got a couple good deals. I know y'all can't really see because it's a funky format because I'm not screen sharing. But I fourth generation i7, $60, a little high, but not bad. If you know what I mean. If you're still on that older socket and you have an i5 or i3 in there, um, I would love to overclock a Titan XP, y'all. I would overclock it to death, pretty much. Let's just go to NVIDIA cards. Let's see. Oh, good old RTX 3090. That's the RTX 3090 I have, or the ROG Strix. I love my RTX 3090. I don't think I could give it away. I really don't. 1650, GTX 1060, still a popular favorite. 980 Ti. That's another card I've been trying to get my hands on overclock. And every time I would come across one on the used market, they wanted more than this for it. Like $90. I'm not paying $90 for a 980 Ti, y'all. Come on. I would even maybe put an offer in for maybe 50 for this seller. And here we go. Yep, GTX Titan, Founders Edition. It's not an XP though. I don't think it's an XP. No, it's not an XP. It's 6 GB of VRAM. Okay. It's a 1080, 950. It's not bad if 1080p is all you need. It really, again, y'all, the key here, we've said this too since day one. The key here is it all boils down to the type of games you play and how you wish to experience them. That's what it boils down to. Cliff says, I'm going to open a shop up on there. And Cliff, I'll buy. Oh, we'll be on there. We have to feature your store, brother, for sure. For anybody else in the community that's looking for a deal from a trusted seller, Cliff takes care of his hardware. Definitely endorse him on there if you're looking for a deal on a graphics card. When are you gonna launch your store, Cliff? Well, I tell you, another RG Strix. That's not bad, y'all. If you're looking 560, if you wanted like a high-end graphics card solution, obviously I can't recommend the RTX 30. Oh, it's a 3080. I stand corrected. Whoops. Shut up, Soup. Nope. Okay. It's a 3080, but still, a 5080, a 3080. I'm sorry. 2060, 150. Let me see. Let's just see if we search Titan here? Maybe I'll just search Titan. I'm gonna search Titan XP. See what we got. Somebody might have beat me to that Titan XP. There goes one for 105. Cliff says, "Oh, next month." Facts. Okay. Cliff says, "I'm $20 Ryzen 3 1200. Got my eye on it. See if it will do 15." Beautiful. I talked about this in my used PC part hunt, which is a mini series. I think our brand is Dealers. I think I'm gonna call it Dealers. I made a little bit of promotional art. I just haven't posted it yet because I just been sitting on it. Y'all know I do that. But I created a little bit of promotional art for that. And they make an offer. It's like what are they going for in eBay? Let's see real quick. Nope, wrong thing. It's Poshmark. I just want to see what Titan X Maxwell is going for on eBay. Maxwell. Nope, Maxwell. Maxwell. That was Maxwell. It was Maxwell, right? Yes, Maxwell. So 139, 172. Oh, nice. I'm all about buyer protection. Good. I think it's good for the buyer and the seller. You know what I'm saying? You have good buyer protection. I think that's good for the buyer and the seller. And a test return period. Nice. So that also, I mean, that protects both the buyer and the seller as well. It doesn't work, get your money back. So that's similar to Facebook Marketplace as well. I like Facebook Marketplace has a similar approach. This is for parts only. I was gonna say $80. Nope. $50 for parts only. Nope. So I mean, 105. That's a pretty good deal for a 12 gigabyte graphics card. So if you wanted the game at 1080p and you wanted slightly higher graphics settings, then this would be the look. Not this on eBay. It's about 149, 139 here, but over here 105, and you can still make an offer. I mean, do I have to sign up? I probably have to sign up. I had to sign up. I was gonna throw them an offer for like maybe 75. See if they would take 70, 75. Cliff says, I find if you offer something reasonable, they will take it. Facts. Yeah. Also, if the seller, depending if they have a store or you know what I mean, if they have more than one item, then you know what I mean. 5500 XT, $75, not bad. Oh, RX 580, 8 gigabyte. That's $10 less than what I paid for this one in our PC part hunt. You know what I'm saying? That's less than we paid for this one. This one, what, 70? Seller wanted 80 or 90 or something like that. 70. No shipping or taxes, so I guess I saved a little bit there. But we still also is another card. Hint, 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 hint. Coming up next. Historically, AMD graphics cards haven't been known to be great overclockers, so we'll see. We'll see. $60 for a GTX 1060 though. Not bad if you're coming from integrated graphics, and they will also buy your hardware. That's good because it's hard, locally. It's hard to sell to any major e-tailer or retailer locally. You're better off trying to find like you're selling to a private person, and even then, good luck with that. Let's see what they got. Let's see. Do I have to go CPUs? See, I'm total noob mode. Yep. Let's jump down to AMD. Let's see what they got. 3600, 6499. I was just talking to my son about upgrading his system. I have an 8700K sitting around not doing anything, and a 9900K, two 9900K sitting around not doing anything. So maybe it'd be nice to get rid of one of those to compensate. You know what I mean? See if somebody be willing to trade. Maybe like a 5800X, maybe. But I did review the 5800X, so maybe not the 5800X. My goodness, it might be time to jump over to the AM5 socket. 5950X. Huh. Yeah, so Java does have some things going on. And Cliff is giving us his vote of confidence. Cliff says, I've bought many things from Java and haven't had any issues. I might even have to hit Java up to see if they want to do a sponsorship. It'd be great to get them to sponsor a video, right? You get to send us some hardware. Oh, Threadripper $19, $20, $90 for a 1920X. I mean, if you're like into music production and stuff like that, I have my old Threadripper system is sitting back here. Threadripper wasn't great for gaming, but my old Threadripper is sitting back here collecting dust. So, but $90 for a 1920X. I mean, it can be all the world of difference depending on what you're coming from. Hmm. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, they're pretty. They have all kind of different components. CPU coolers, AIOs. What's that? A 240? 360s? This is flirting with Amazon prices, though. I'm not familiar with these two brands, but not bad. Oh, Deepcool AK41 400. I wanted this CPU cooler. Not bad. $40, brand new. Definitely put an offer. I said this in my used PC part hunt. Everything is negotiable. Everything. I took my daughter to a local farmer's market, y'all. I took my daughter to a local farmer's market and I tried to get her comfortable with interacting with buyers there. And even while I'm there, I'm looking for like tools and just little miscellaneous parts and ways to supplement the content in my studio. And I'm bartering left to right. I'm pulling money out, offering because in my firm, I have a firm belief you can walk away when the money is right there. Most people won't. But I'm trying to get her comfortable. And I told her going in, You know what I mean? I said, you know, everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable. Never take the final, never take the first price as the final price. The worst you could be told is no. They have a right to say no as much as they have a right to accept your your offer. Cliff says, I need that LGA 1700 socket $3 cooler. Oh, it might be on the other page. These come in. I mean, this is really good because these little bad boys are harder to come across than you think. And if you don't have them, you can be in a world of pain. So, mountain clip brackets, 449. Was it on the other page? $3 cooler. I see most people even selling the box cooler for Ryzen more than that. Hmm. Keyboards, mice, webcams, gaming handhelds, games, case fans, everything, y'all. Java is like use Micro Center. Java is like use Micro Center. Wow. Okay. Good stuff. I'm gonna have to reach out to Java, make that part of the homework assignment, and see what's going on. But we're almost at the 2 hour mark. I appreciate Brother Cliff and the other viewer coming on. Um, just kind of reiterate some topics here I touched on at the beginning of this live stream. What we'll probably end up doing is repurposing the live streams from here onto probably like a super meta live channel where all the live replays from Twitch go onto there, or break them down into smaller clips, or YouTube Shorts. I don't really do YouTube Shorts on the tech channel. I experimented with them again, but it wasn't for me. But some positive changes coming to the content, y'all. Positive changes, all reflective on helping the community and other PC gamers on the fence, over the fence, save money on PC gaming. Having members of the community like First Players come on and share a website like Java, which I have to be 100% transparent, I knew nothing about. So once again, thanks for sharing, Brother Cliff. And this is just another avenue that maybe we can do an even deeper dive on another live stream where we put a few offers in. I think that's exactly what we'll do. I think we'll jump right back and do another live stream. We'll put some live offers in because I don't have to get up and meet the person. Hopefully the messaging and the responses will be a little quicker. Might be like an 8 hour long live stream, y'all. I don't know. That's insane. Brother Cliff, I mentioned the one time we did a 6 hour live stream. I mean, that's insane. The longest solo live stream I've ever done. And I've only always ever live streamed solo. I think when we first did the Twitch channel, I might have jumped on and played Fortnite with a few friends, but that's also something I'm open to, is gaming with members here in the community. But it would likely be, for lack of better words, through a paywall. So either here as a Twitch member or as a YouTube member, and we would be able to play some games together, whatever your fancy is. I will say, Terminator Survivors is coming out here soon. I am a Terminator fan, so if you're a Terminator fan out there and you want to consider playing with us, consider what I just mentioned, right? So multiplayer, even Once Human. This seems like the Once Human hype had died down as quickly as it lit up. I had even planned a video. I'll say this real quick, and then I'll dip out, I promise. But I had planned a video around Once Human, like a Once Human build. And once I saw the interest level like just go on a sharp decline, I was like, wow, okay, let's shift to another topic. But I do have a fun and exciting video that's in the works. It's not going to come out next, but I'm kind of in the middle of producing two videos at the same time because they're both so intensive as to what we're doing. But I will say, do keep a lookout for those post-credit scenes that y'all know I love to run so much at the end of our videos. But yeah, but essentially, y'all, Twitch fam, that's all your boys, Soup Lab Soup. Soup, whatever you want to call me. But here on Twitch, and going forward, we will be Super Meta Tech. We won't be Tech with Terrence. Again, I want to take the personalized portion of my name out of the channel name and make it more about just being a character that's here to serve the community. Twitch, YouTube, that's our two primary video formats. Until Twitch goes away, all my creator commentary friends can say Twitch is dead, Twitch is dying, all they want. I'm going to create content on Twitch so long as that we have members in the community like First Players and others who come over and watch. And of course, Twitch is still around. I'm going to create content on the platform. Dying or not, we're going to ride this outright with it because I don't anticipate it dying. I don't anticipate in Twitch letting go of its market share it has on live streaming. YouTube is a solid number two, and that's simply because their search and discovery and the value of their of live streams after they're up just Twitch can't compete. Twitch can't compete. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. You already know what it is. I do hope to catch you all in the next one. So until then, be easy.